Sami. This is going to be a collective and a current energy update. Today is the 18th of March, 2021. I want to talk about the split in energy, the split in people that we're seeing right now. So, firstly, I want to talk about letting go of the need to convince others, or show others, or wake people up, or tell your friends and family new information or other information. So, there's two different groups, right? It's very clear. There's a group that's willing to question things. There's a group that's still looking for answers. There's a group that is never giving up in finding truth and finding deeper meanings and understanding and the why and how and the explanation of things. And there's a group that is perfectly fine with the answers that they're being given, if any at all, and they don't have any more questions. They feel fine with how things are going, and they've accepted it. In that same sense, there's that same split in energy with the light and the dark, with a perception that they're wanting you to have, that they're projecting on you for a future that they want, and then there's the future that we're creating. So the reason why I bring this up is because the dark is going to try to make you feel defeated. The dark is going to make you try to make you feel depressed, or like you can't win, or like no one cares what you have to say, or that you're wrong, or that, even worse, you have no control over your life and the future that is coming. And that's not true at all. If we are in the group that accepts the narrative, that stops asking questions, that just takes whatever they're given and just blindly goes wherever they're guided, then we would be the ones accepting the projections of that reality, the false reality that they're wanting to create. And as we do that, if we're in that group, we are creating that reality that the dark is wanting. So many things talk about this too in different writings. I know the Bible talks about wolves in sheep's clothing and all sorts of things. Discernment, where people just trust in what they're being told. This is very dangerous. So what I want to say is, if you're one of the others, like me, who question things, who are constantly looking for new information, who are constantly weeding through different sources and putting pieces together on my own and using my own critical thinking and discernment, facing the narrative head on with friends and family members and others who may not even really understand what they're fighting for. But they are fighting, I guess, and we'll start to see this more. So this energy is upon us now. It's not just because there's a complete split, because there is, but it's also because where Mars is in Gemini, Mercury is in Pisces, and so that's going to be bringing up the more spiritual, more subconscious level understanding of meaning where we're headed, where we are. Healing can come from this, but it's going to be the mind and thought versus action. And so we can see that in our interactions with others, because this will cause fights and arguments. This will cause inner conflict within you, possibly, and just cause arguments with you and others, because there's a need to take action. Okay, this has kind of been on and off. I've been feeling it more as like an activist taking action, or like standing up for what you believe in, but this could be anything in your life. Anything that needs change, anything that you've been feeling poking at you, that urge or that nudge to do something. And now it's going to be time to make that decision and put it in action. We're in one of the last days of the sun in Pisces. So by tomorrow will be the last day of the sun in Pisces. By the 20th, on Saturday, we will be entering Aries. And Venus is moving with the sun into Aries. So the sun will feel happy here. And Venus, we will need to change the way possibly we look at relationships and money and beauty, because we're entering Aries now, and Aries is action oriented. So this is going to be starting new projects, possibly looking at the way we spend money, maybe creating a new budget for yourself, thinking about new investments, things like that. Action oriented shifts. Also, with everything that I mentioned prior, I feel this shift with Venus is going to change the way you feel about how others think. So why I mentioned the need to let go of that trying to convince someone, or not even trying to convince them, just present to them another side. It's okay to let that go. And that's been really hard for me. So I wanted to talk about this because we are so completely split, to where it's not, I don't feel like it's 60-40 or 30-70. I really feel like it might be 50-50. I could be wrong. It could be more so people following the narrative. But when you're someone who questions things and, look into the deeper, all this stuff, researching constantly, you meet people who are like you. And then when you have more of those people in your life, you feel like it's more prevalent, right? Until you go outside and then you're faced with everyone else who is following the narrative. So, just as your children are not your own, right? They're souls of their own. They came in when they wanted. I'm having to really remind myself this more and more lately, that the people in my life and the people in your life were chosen to be here with you, and their soul knows. So whatever is meant to happen will happen. It's okay to try to present another side, but sometimes you can just feel so defeated in doing that, because I think it starts to be like, why? Like, why are you fighting for this? And it doesn't matter what you say. Most people just aren't going to listen to you. And that's okay. It's frustrating for me, and probably for you if you're like me, because we want to help people, and we want people to live healthy, full, happy lives, and we want our kids to do that, and our grandkids to do that, and whoever else comes to this planet. And of course, where we go after this planet, we want the lives to be fulfilling and the lessons to be learned. There's just such a struggle here on Earth right now for the consciousness of humanity. And the fight right now is brutal. And it's going to get worse. So what I want to say is, we can find happiness, we can find peace and love and joy in the way that we choose to create our reality, day in and day out. The more we try to the the more I feel depleted. And so right now is a time of surrender. It's a time to accept things, because it is time to take action. Jumping into Aries in these last days of Pisces, we're going to be coming to a more fuller understanding. I've had a huge epiphany today about not being heard, or not being believed, or not being listened to, or just people just not even giving it the time of day, just dismissing it. And that is probably the most difficult part, because these are people that we love and we care about, right? Or else we wouldn't be wasting our time. That has really been a struggle for a lot of us in trying to help others to see. If they don't want to see, and if they're afraid to face reality, afraid for that ego to die, or everything they've ever known, that's a really scary thing. And I think we can get frustrated and angry, and why won't you just give it a chance? That type of energy. But there's just no forcing that. So the biggest lesson I have learned with those around me, and even my kids, is that I can't do anything about it. And the best thing for me to do is just accept and surrender and be in my own happy energy. And when it's time for me to stand up and speak my truth and take action, I will do so. But in the meantime, I'm just not going to keep putting myself out there and trying to help others in that sort of way. I hope this is making sense, because on a soul level, they know what they're doing, okay, and they're choosing to go along with their soul's path, whatever that may be. Maybe they'll wake up and have an ego death in 20 years, or maybe they never will. The point is that you be the light where you're needed, and plant those seeds, or whatever people say. And when it's not working, don't force it. Don't force the information. Don't get in huge arguments. Just be willing to let it go. I mean, it's really not worth the friendships and the relationships being damaged or whatever. So I wanted to mention that because I feel like the dark is using that right now with relationships and friendships, so that you will feel like you can't control what's coming. And we all have control of what's coming. We all, every day, are creating our reality. So it's very important that we remind ourselves of that, and we stay in a high vibration and attracting those good things to us. It is more difficult now as we see things changing around us. But it's so important to just remember who you are and why you came here. And I'm just so happy to be alongside all of you now at this time on the planet. Even on days where I'm feeling so defeated, we have to remember that this isn't real. Most of what we're seeing are projections. The people who go along with it, they don't know what they're going along with. And that's a scary thing, but we do. So as long as we keep on this path, keep our eyes ahead to the future, take action in your life for whatever reality you want, for whatever creative projects you want, for however you can help the most amount of people, and just be the light where you are. Help those when you can. I just don't want anyone to feel like they don't serve a purpose, or that they shouldn't be here, or why did I even come here, or that you don't want to be here. And I get it, because I feel that way a lot too. But we need to rely on each other. I would like for this channel to grow. I would like for this channel to become more of a platform where people can talk in the comments and communicate and exchange contact information and be there for one another. Because it does seem to be getting harder. The lessons are getting harder. The healing is getting harder. The shadow work is getting harder. And even though the knowledge is expanding and the love is expanding, the understanding may be expanding, the 3D still gets in the way of the everyday life. So that was it. We're moving into Aries energy in the next few days. We also have the spring equinox coming. So it will be fall on the other side of the world. We're starting a new year astrologically. As the sign moves into Aries, we start at 0. And Aries may bring more violence or protests. The information that comes out will change towards the end of this month. I'm hoping really big things come out, and I'm hoping people are willing to look at it and see it for what it is. But we're just taking this thing day by day, you know? So let's see what Spirit has to say. Maybe we can get some encouragement from Spirit. I think we probably can. Thank you, Father, Mother, all of the above. Thank you, Universe, Christ. Thank you, ancestors, higher self, soul groups, all of our positive, happy ET friends that are watching and only wish to give us the utmost guidance and peace in our hearts. Please give us clear interpretations for the collective. Happy, happy. I think that's true. I think we need to, truth be told. Ooh, truth be told on the bottom. Let's read them both and see. But I really think this is true in a lot of cases. Some people, maybe people going with the narrative or whatever, but like in America right now, they're getting stimulus money, they're hoping for tax time, there's a lot of shifts happening with different programs and things where people may feel like things are going really good for them right now. A lot of people are really excited for new technologies and medicine. So, whether they're projections or not, people are happy. And I think we need to focus on being happy instead of what we see in the world around us, like I was saying before. Because that can kind of be a drag if you play into those projections. So, happy is 26. Let's read it. Joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, and a feeling that all is well. Well, I can't say that I have felt that recently. But I know in my heart, when I get to the bottom of it, and I'm in this space, I am filled with gratitude just for being here, for being with you, for being alongside the others that came here to make a change and shift human consciousness for the better. And when I think about that, I am very happy when I wake up and I'm still here. I still get a chance to be the light. I still get a chance to push humanity a little bit further, one by one, if I can. And we are so blessed when we look at it from that perspective. Especially if you've got friends and family and a job and a house and kids. You know, we have so much to be thankful for. Let's move into this truth be told. I do want some truth to be told. You know, if truth be told. I'm just kidding. Okay. Dork, right? What a dork. Okay, truth be told. Honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. It says there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. Isn't that real? Right? So there's the truth, and then there's a truth according to whoever you're talking to. And that has been difficult. And that's exactly what I was saying. It's like, it can be frustrating trying to show a different side or perspective right now. Because people just naturally feel more comfortable going with the narrative. And they have no reason to question it in many cases. I think we've all gone through some sort of awakening or some sort of trigger that caused us to get to this point where we are. If you identify as a light worker or someone who is on the search for truth or knowledge. So you can't always be that for someone else, you kind of just have to wait till they go through that on their own. But I would like for some truth to be told, and I'm hoping some things come out for us for the remainder of this month of March. But in the meantime, we can focus on the happiness. These are situations cards. Okay, threatened. Some people are feeling very threatened. I for sure 1,000% know this. I think you do too. We could look at this many ways. The dark is feeling threatened. The dark knows that people are waking up and they're trying to use everything they can right now to project this false future that they want. It also says embarrassed. It also says appearances. So people are caring a lot about how they look. And I think that's another part of the ego that is unwilling to accept the opposite perspective or just any other perspective. When we're talking about the narrative and what everyone wants to believe or what the mainstream media is telling you, that sort of thing, you can be kind of afraid to go against the flow in many cases. And so maybe this is what we're dealing with here. Well, we also have journal. It says journal, writing, a diary, or keeping notes. So I think it is important now for people to share their opinions. And if you can't, just write everything down. This is a huge time for humanity. And we will look back at this time in history, and our kids will want to know, and their kids will want to know. But just aside from that, writing to each other, or writing blogs, making a YouTube channel, any way for you to share your opinion and share your beliefs. Give yourself a platform where you can speak and feel that you're heard. Because we don't all have that in our daily lives. And I think that's important, because if you don't have that, you're more apt to wanting to kind of just give up, So it's important that we're heard however possible. So if it's writing for you, then you should definitely write. If it's blogging or having a YouTube channel or talking with friends more, diaries are so healing. Seriously. Any kind of writing, just getting those ideas out there. For some of you, maybe thinking about writing a book. Spirit, tell us about the collective energy right now. Number 34, Hummingbird Spirit. It says, be here now. So that is so true. And I think we do have this fear, some of us, about the future and what we're seeing now, and the fear about what it's going to become. And instead of living in the future, Spirit is saying we need to be here now. And that is so true. So what can we do now in our daily lives that's going to bring joy to ourselves and others? What is it that you love to do? What is it that makes you feel free? It makes you feel like you have more freedom, or like you have more control, more power over your own life. What creative projects have you been missing that maybe you haven't done in a while, that you might want to stick your little baby toe in again? Just put, just a little bit, just dabble a little bit into a creative project that you used to love, singing, painting, or making shirts, or, all kind of stuff, furniture, in the garden, writing, making music. There's tons of stuff you could do. So what is it for you where you feel completely free and happy and feel the Spirit moving that creative energy through you? Jewelry making, sculpting. There's endless possibilities. Let's do more of those things to help us really be in the moment, be here on the planet. And this is also about taking action when it comes to a new business you want to start up, or writing that book finally, or standing up for what you believe in active demonstrations in your city. Whatever it is, making your voice be heard, possibly, that's a great way to live in the moment. But We need to not worry about the future. Worry about the day that we're creating. What are we creating each day? Accumulatively, that will bring us the future, but we don't need to live there now. We need to be here. So thank you, Spirit. And then this one says, crow spirits. We've got 2 birds. And we have an owl here. So you may be witnessing more birds. Or maybe we should be paying attention to the birds as signs and symbols. So this says crow spirit, number 17, co-create with spirit. And that's what I'm saying, man. Right? Instead of worrying about what others think, or how we look to others, or all of the future and all of the crap projections, we need to be happy. We need to do what makes us feel happy in the moment right now. That's very important. And take action. When you know and feel that it's time and it's time to make a decision, do it. Implement it. Put it into action. That's what Aries wants. And we're moving in 2 days. And get a brand new start. Co-creating with spirit. Creating the future that we want. So it's very important now that we don't start feeling like, well, it's just going to go however they make it go. You know, or that's just fate. That sort of energy can be harmful. So there's a lot of thunder happening. I don't know if you can hear it, but it thundered right when I said that. So we should focus on what we're creating in our daily lives, how we feel in our daily lives. Okay, so if you've been feeling more worried lately, you need to let that go. Also, I know Jupiter will be in Pisces, and that feels more like the need for calm waters and serenity and like healing, and it can bring expansion of healing, the expansion of maybe subconscious ideas or dreams fulfilled, lessons learned, the understanding of it. But we have to understand that, like, reality versus what we're creating, and somewhere in between is like Jupiter and Pisces, like the need to just feel okay. And sometimes it's going to take action to get there, and sometimes that's not reality. And so we got to make sure that we're not doing the whole escapist thing, escaping the reality, you know, in order to just feel better. So let's try not to avoid anything right now. New moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. So this is important too, okay? Like I was saying, if you're getting into conflict with your loved ones over information that may be coming out or whatever it is, you have to kind of trust that their soul knows what they're doing and your soul knows what you're doing. And, you know, we can't interfere with free will and we can't force anyone to see it our way. So we just have to know that they're safe no matter what. And if something were to happen and they were to transition to the other side, then that was their soul's decision, and we would need to accept that as their free will. You know, so there's really no use in fighting. You know, it's just the love and passion, and it's really just the love of wanting others to see that, or just at least hear you out in the hopes of changing their mind. But there's really nothing we can do. So I've been feeling this a lot lately, and I felt pressed to make this video. So please excuse the background noise. It's spring break. So the kids are here. I just feel like I'm tired of being frustrated, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm not being heard, or that my opinion is not welcome or appreciated or even acknowledged. So that has been frustrating for me. And like I mentioned before, I feel like for many of you as well, this will be a lesson of recognizing, like, why do I need to have that sort of power? Because how I've been feeling is powerless. I feel like I'm here to help and lead and guide others, but no one wants to hear it. So that's the problem that I've been facing, and really the problem is within me. It's that I just need to let go of that need to help others that don't want the help. And it could just be that they're friends or family, and so I want to help them more because they're in my daily life, and obviously I care about them a lot. But those who need your guidance and your help and your light will show up in your life, and they'll be willing to hear you out. And that's something that I haven't really considered more recently, because I've been really consumed with I'm assuming it's fear. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably fear of what will happen to my loved ones if they don't look into things further. If you're not willing to ask questions or research and you're just going to follow along blindly with what everyone's telling you to do, that's scary to me. But that's the type of person I am, where I question things, and I know a lot of you are too. So this week will be about surrender. This week will be about passion, new adventures. Page of Wands is fire. So we are moving into this more fiery energy. We will have the moon in Leo coming into Sunday and Monday, I believe. Monday. So we will have that with Venus and the Sun in Aries. And then Mars will be meeting with the North Node. And we just have so much happening. So there will be an action-packed week. So expect that. Expect new adventures. Take the action towards those adventures. Take the action towards the things that you believe in. Standing up for yourself and what you believe in. And know that line. When it comes to just sharing ideas and information with others. Because you can't convince people. So they have to just do what we know to be best in our own lives and trust that their soul knows what they're doing, and just accept that. That's all we can do, really. So be here in the moment. Don't focus on the future. Co-create with spirit and be willing to take action on those things. What is it that you want to draw into your life? And gradually we will create the future for humanity. So you don't have to accept what it is that you're seeing now. You have to know that you have a say, that we all do. We're creating this reality together. So it's really important. That was the main message I wanted to get across, was for you not to get feeling depressed and down and depleted and defeated and powerless. Because you have great power. That's why you came here. You wanted to make a change. And it's okay if you ruffle some feathers in the process. And now's the time to take action. So we have to do that in a very peaceful, calm, communicative way. That is not so much Mercury and Pisces where it's like fantasy, but where it's more so spiritually guided, understood on a deeper level, and really shows, I want to say, the dreamy aspects of what could be for humanity in the future. Not the dream as if it can't be real, but dream as in, whatever you want, you can have. That sort of aspect of manifestation of what we can create together. So focus on your happy, okay? Being happy. Truth be told, speak your truth when asked or provoked or whatever. Not scary, kind of aggressive, but we don't want to start any arguments. We want to come from a calm, nurturing space and understand that other people really think their way is the truth, just like you do. So that can be really frustrating. It's like, well, who's right? I don't know. But The main thing is that we're willing to hear each other out, right? And not just dismiss things. And be aware of those projections. You know, we've been talking about the media forever. I'm sure all of you are aware. Don't watch the mainstream media. They're all projections. Okay? And you know, there's other sources for news. So we want to be here now. We want to look for the new adventure. We want to take action in those things. We want to do the things that make us happy, tap into that creative energy. And we want to be willing to share our truth. Okay, but also I feel this is Spirit saying some truth will be told. And I had already mentioned that in the last video or a couple videos ago. There will be more truths coming out starting around now until the end of March. And then I feel like this ball's just going to keep on rolling, okay? And things will probably get more, I guess worse, but harder, a little more difficult. But we got our head in the game, you know? And that's what matters. When you have to recenter, do that. When you have to go outside and put those pillars of light, like I mentioned in the last video, through your meditations, put those giant pillars of light around your home, in schools, you know, by major city buildings and all around your city and town. And then when you go into meditation, you can go and go to those pillars of light that you've created and like do maintenance, I guess you would say. Sometimes some look dimmer than others, and I'm assuming that's something in the astral that has been affected in that area, but also sometimes it's that your light has dimmed, and I've noticed that as well. So when I start feeling frustrated and I go to recenter, it seems that those pillars have changed and I have to really refortify them. And that's just one of the things that I do in my home and neighborhood for my kids and for my safety and for my spiritual protection. And I find that I feel better when I practice that in meditation, just as a side aspect of a more physical feeling of protection that you might want to try as well. I'm just mentioning it, okay? But it's just so important that you be the light, okay? And I'm just noticing now the Six of Swords on the bottom. So this is about moving forward, moving on. And sometimes this energy is like letting go. It's really that surrendering. Letting go of the past, or letting go of conflict, even letting go of arguments, and just being willing to move forward. Even though it can be painful and hard and sad, or have some remorse or something, it's about moving on. So like I mentioned, this is a period of surrender, okay? Remember that you and your loved ones are safe. So this feels better. This energy feels better to me than what I have been feeling. So these are the things to remember this week, okay? Journal. You're safe. Your loved ones are safe, even though you may not feel like it, okay? Remember that's their choice. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. So because of that, focus on what makes you happy. Focus on being in the moment. Focus on this new action oriented adventure that you're wanting to start, and accept the truth. You know, when this truth comes out, it might be hard to see. And fortunately for light workers, we've been prepared for this. We've seen a lot of this stuff, right? So that's what we're here for. Many of us are here to counsel others when they start to see the truth. And we'll be here and ready to help them when they do. So thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. I will be doing an all signs soon. Please enjoy your spring equinox if I don't talk to you before then. And I will see you in the next one.